We're
Oh my
so
God.
festive.
So festive.
We are so festive this morning, you guys. Look at that. We're Christmased out. We didn't even plan this. We don't ever plan these things.
It just
And it just
happened.
happens for you. Okay, sorry, I gotta turn my phone is not on silent. It's gonna be beeping the whole time. You guys, what you should do, listen, we are BFFs with Bulwark Financial, and you should go to knowyourriskradio.com or call 866-779-RISK. Get a free copy of Common Sense. See what they did there? Common Sense Investing. Because our good friend Zach over there at Bulwark, he knows what he's talking about when it comes to money.
Yeah, in fact, just yesterday there was another podcast with him that you can check out.
Yep. So you should totally
Doomsday
check that
Prep.
out. You in danger, girl. So you should check that out. knowyourriskradio.com. Do that. Also, put this podcast right. Subscribe. If you haven't subscribed, what are you waiting for? Every time you subscribe, an angel gets its wings.
That's true.
So
that's fact.
It is fact. It's a known fact. There's data. Put us in your pocket or in your fanny pack. It looks weird when I do that. Or swooped across your Lululemon thing.
Yeah, like
Put
your
us right
side,
in there. Your
side pouch.
Your side pouch. Is that what those are called?
I don't know. I do not know what those are called.
I like that though. Your kangaroo side pouch. That. Put us in there.
Put us right in there. Okay, I know we're gonna see TMB. Teddy Moosh Bear is going to make an appearance at the very end of the show.
The very end of the show.
But everybody's going to be dying to know how he's doing. So if you could just give an update on that before we get into anything else.
Okay, the update on him is he's doing great. I basically did not leave my house this whole weekend so I could get him acclimated, and he was okay. I went and picked him up from the vet on Friday, brought him home. He's precious. He's an angel. He's an absolute... I keep looking for something that's wrong with this other than his bum leg. I keep looking for something that's wrong with this dog. I can't find anything, you guys. He's just so, every single one of my dogs has been a little bit weird, right? I mean, there's always been something like, Coda's a lunatic. There's always some sort of tick, there's always some sort of psychological thing with my dogs. And I just deal with it. They're like people. But this dog, I swear, everybody keeps saying, I think Cash sent this dog to you. I don't think you're wrong. I think Cash did send, he's an angel, you guys. He's such a sweetheart. Oh my gosh. And every time he looks at me, it's like he's saying, thank you. I can't. My heart just busts wide open. I cannot with this dog. He's just so precious. So anyways, he's doing great. And we're still hoping that all goes well and he doesn't get that bone infection. And I think he's going to keep his leg. Yeah, they saved his leg so far, but as long as the infection stays at bay. So I'm giving him like 5 pills a day. Actually more than that, like 8 pills a day. So,
oh my gosh.
Yeah.
And that's all to prevent an infection?
Yeah.
And just treat the wound or whatever?
Just treating all antibiotic stuff. So, so I think he's going to be fine. And I so appreciate the prayers. You guys have been completely awesome, and
all the contributions.
I mean, my God, everybody's so wonderful. Generous. Yeah, I mean, he's like your dog too, right? So
he's everybody's dog,
the sweetest boy. So hopefully at the end of the show, we'll get him in here, and you guys can see him. So
yeah, for sure.
He loves the cows too.
For sure,
loves the cows and loves the dogs. He's great. So.
Yay!
All good stuff. Merry Christmas to me. Yep.
It just goes to show that I think in your case especially, you just got to stop going to like Great Dane breeder. You need to just rescue dogs.
Oh, I think so too. And we rescued Astrid, and she's awesome too. We were her 4th home, and she's amazing. And we've rescued like Tess. Remember our sweet Tess?
Tessie LaRue.
God rest her soul. You guys don't remember Tess, but Tess was, oh my God, like she also was an angel dog. And so he reminds me a little bit of her. If you've been around as long as Mock has been around, you remember Tess. But so we've had some, they're the best. The rescue dogs are the best. The ones that pick you.
They really are.
Yeah.
Gosh, they really are. Maisie was a rescue also. And so they are the best, right?
What a blessing he is so far. So
yay. Yeah. Everybody's commenting there's going to be a good sunrise in your window today.
I'll move like this so you guys can see
and look at it. Speaking of sunrises, so I want to show you this picture that my son took. This was on Saturday. He went early to his high school lacrosse fields to practice just by himself. This is what he does. Look at that photo that he got of an Indiana sunrise that morning.
Beautiful.
Can you believe
That's
that?
really, really
I
pretty. Yeah.
mean,
I feel like
I was
Indiana
like,
and
"Look at that."
Texas have some of the best sunrise and sunsets.
They
Yeah.
got some good sun
Mhm.
rising.
Yeah.
So, anyway, all right, there's a lot to get to today, a lot. And so we're gonna get to so many things, but one of the stories that I wanted to mention, which actually ties in to one of our sponsors, is the fact that Mark Zuckerberg is building, what is it, like a
Uh-huh.
$270 million compound.
Yeah.
This is in his on his Hawaii property. So they have 110 plus acres in Kauai, which is not a big place. Kauai is not a big place. 110 plus acres they have there, and he is building a $270 million compound with a bunker and its own village. So he's doing some prepping. Like, if you guys watch that horrible movie that we told you not to watch, Leave the World
Mhm.
Behind,
Right.
at the very end, there's like some rich person's got like amazing bunker, just shelves upon shelves upon shelves of all kinds of food, water. I mean, everything that you would need in an emergency.
And like all the movies, all the entertainment, like you
Right.
could live there for the rest of your life and never be, I mean, you would be okay.
And
Is
that
the
is what Zuckerberg is building. But it
Right.
makes me wonder too, like, is it going to be the kind of thing where you're so prepared and you have all of this amazing stuff and this amazing bunker, and then like you're not home when the crap goes down, right?
Mhm.
And then all of a sudden you
Which
can't
is
even get to your bunker.
which is what happened in Leave the World Behind.
Right.
That's precisely what happened. They were probably in the city and they got killed. Yeah,
Mhm.
exactly.
So,
So I
but
yeah.
it's a good message about just being prepared.
Yeah.
And that is why it's always a good idea each week to check the specials that are going on at the number 4, patriots.com/chicks, because then you'll know what all the best weeks, discounts, and deals are. And so today, as a matter of fact, today is the last chance you have to order and get it by Christmas. So you can still use forpatriots.com/chicks to order Christmas presents for someone and to help someone else be super prepared, whether you're doing emergency food, whether you're doing solar supplies, battery backups, water filtration systems. They've got everything that you can imagine when it comes to emergency preparedness. So if you want to get Christmas delivery, make sure to order today. There will be also free shipping on any orders over $97. So Mark Zuckerberg is not doing this because he just feels like doing it. He's doing it because he thinks it's necessary to be prepared. And the best way to be prepared is with getting yourself all the supplies that you need at 4patriots.com/.
It does beg the question though, what's he preparing for? What does he
Well,
know?
exactly. Right?
Mhm.
This is
Yeah,
like completely
when I saw
freaky.
that when I saw that this weekend, I was like, "Hmm." When the elite start doing that, it makes you kinda
Mhm.
go, what do they know? What are they
Right? It's
doing?"
very, 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 very troubling. Very troubling.
Mhm.
Miss Cadillac, thank you so much for that super sticker. She says, "Merry Christmas, Theo."
Thank you.
And Kitty Mayer, thank you so much for that
Thank
super
you,
sticker.
kitty.
Appreciate that. Um, okay, I don't want to freak anybody out, okay? But I do want to mention that right now we have the smallest military in 80 years. Just as the world is feeling like we need the biggest military ever, we don't have a very big military. It's the smallest in 80 years, 1.3 million across the board, across all areas of service. That freaks me out. And then I saw too, I'm not going to show them because it just makes me mad, but there's like all these TikTokers now that are in active duty army, who are wearing their army uniforms with their name visible and everything, which is totally not, you're not allowed to do that. They're making TikToks encouraging people to not enlist and telling everybody, here's why it sucks to be in the army.
Oh
I
my
mean,
god.
I,
So these are young, obviously young people, like the younger generation doing that, right? Because I mean, otherwise, it's not going to be. It's not Gen Xers that are
oh
out there
no,
on
no, no,
TikTok
these are
doing this.
all,
Young
these are
people.
20 somethings.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I mean, these are people that probably are like, "Oh my god, it's really hard to be in the military." Listen, I've not seen the TikToks because I'm not on
There's a
TikTok,
ton of them.
but I imagine there's a lot of them that are like, "It's really hard. You have to get up in the morning and do things. It's tough.
Right.
You actually have to get.
And the
It's
pay
hard.
is crappy,
Oh god, it's
and
so
you didn't you to
hard."
meet certain requirements to use their
Oh my
college
god.
benefits.
It's yeah, it's like that kid that bitched and moaned and cried on TikTok because he had to work, like, I don't know, more than 4 hours at Starbucks. Remember that kid that was
Yeah,
crying?
Yes.
Oh god, it's so hard to work at Starbucks, you guys. Oh my god, this generation is so weak. They're
Well,
so
it's
weak.
awful, and what's really awful is that, you know, they're doing this and this violates all their policies, and I think they're doing that on purpose because these are people who clearly do not care what the consequences are of their actions, and so what happens is they're probably gonna get kicked out of the army,
Yeah.
and then we're gonna have even fewer people in the army, not that these people were at all useful to begin with, but
Yeah.
the fact that they would go and actively discourage others from joining, what a bunch of a-holes. You know what I mean? Like, it's just
Mhm.
that just makes me so mad. So I'm not showing them just because it
And
does
then they're
make me mad.
and then they have the audacity to do that on basically a Chinese app.
Exactly.
Mhm.
Yeah, and that seems like, how are they even allowed to have TikTok when they're active duty
Right.
military? I mean,
Yeah.
they're probably breaking like every known policy, but
Mhm. The
yeah.
Chinese are loving every bit of this. They're
Oh my
loving
gosh,
it.
they absolutely are.
Mhm.
Superfan Sid, thank you. He just sent a super sticker saying, I had to say goodbye to little man Travis the
Ah,
dachshund yesterday as his mama moved to Ohio. It was so hard to say goodbye. Lots of tears. On another note, I love the cozy earth sheets. Thank you, Superfan Sid and
thank you,
Alexandra.
Sid.
Thank you. She says Gen Z needs to choose their hard. It is getting embarrassing. Oh my
Right.
gosh, no doubt. It
I
really
know.
is. It's just it's mortifying. Okay, also before we get to videos, can I just tell everybody because it was too long to play. Bill Maher, absolutely phenomenal monologue this past Friday. Absolutely phenomenal. There was no way for me to cut it down, and it's almost 9 minutes long. So I just made a note to self to make sure to tell everybody, please go watch it. Please. I know it's Bill Maher. Clock's right twice a day, blah, blah, blah. I know.
So what was the, theme of it? What was
It
the
was
main
Israel.
gist?
It was
Israel.
Israel, and it was just, it
Spot
was,
on.
it was
Yeah,
perfection.
when he's good, he's excellent.
Yeah, truly,
Mhm.
truly, truly
Yeah.
excellent. I'm not saying that at all sarcastically. It is a phenomenal monologue. Everybody's retweeting it. Go find it, please. Just watch it because it was too long to play here, but it's really, really, really worth a listen. Okay, so last night, there was a big old crash that happened. Thankfully, everybody is fine. But Joe Biden's motorcade, I don't even know how many cars are in that, but it's a lot. Someone crashed into the last SUV in that motorcade just as Joe Biden was exiting a building. I don't know where he was. It doesn't matter. And so it was interesting. I've got a couple angles to show you. The first is when he was just walking out of the building and reporters were there waiting for him and they were screaming at him, "Hey, Joe Biden, why are your poll numbers so bad?" And so that was the question. You'll hear it very clearly. And what you won't hear very well is his answer, which is, "You're reading the wrong polls."
Oh my god.
And then all of a sudden there's this giant like crash, right? And he looks surprised, and then Secret Service is like, "What the hell?" And then they scramble to pile him into the SUV. So
Mhm.
there's that clip first, and then you'll see another clip that shows kind of like the aftermath because the guy that hit the back car, it was just I think it was a legit accident. Like, I don't know if he ran a red light or what, but it doesn't seem to be a purposeful thing.
It
He
wasn't
was very
malicious.
cooperative.
It wasn't
Right.
malicious. The guy just, like, hit the car. Like, he's just a
Yeah.
normal dude. It's just like, "Oh,
Yeah.
crap. I hit the wrong car." It's like,
Right.
"Whoops."
So
Yeah.
so here's what happened.
Mr. President, why are you losing to Trump in the polls?
The wrong polls, you guys. Look at the
God, he could barely walk. Oh, crap. We gotta get him in the car. The Secret Service
like, but I want to
doesn't look
see.
the Secret Service doesn't look very adept there either.
No. So this is from like further back.
They don't.
And that silver or whatever the color that car is who hit him or who hit the back car. And that's pretty much it.
Hey, President Biden, is Obama.
Oh yeah, I
I mean,
wanted
it's
to
like
show this too.
did you there listen, I don't know, maybe it's just me, but they didn't react very quickly either. You know what I mean? Like, it just
Yeah.
I don't know. The Secret Service, I wouldn't. Yikes.
I mean, everybody, I guess, naturally is going to be like, "Huh?" You know,
I know,
they're
but
gonna
listen, all due respect to people who have been in the Secret Service or have relatives who have been in the Secret Service, but the Secret Service now, I think, is different than it was even a couple years ago. I'm just saying
that
they
might be true.
reacted very differently than how I thought they would react. Just putting that
because
out
their
there.
immediate thing was not to just surround
Yeah,
him and push him in.
They were rubbernecking. That's not what you're supposed to do. They should be immediately going into action. I don't know. I wouldn't feel I would protect yourself if you're a president from now on, because dang. Yeah.
It was a little slow on the uptake, as they say.
Yeah.
Biden got together with his BFF Obama to remind everybody how great Obamacare is. And they even made fun of the fact that there was that famous moment now where Obamacare was passed and Joe Biden said, "This is a big effing deal." Remember, on a hot mic?
Oh, I remember. Yeah.
So they refer to that in this little, whatever this is.
Hey, President Biden, is Obamacare still a thing? Is it still a thing?
Yes. Obamacare, the Affordable Care Act, Biden Care, whatever you call it, yes, it is still a thing. The other side's been trying to repeal it every year since it's existed, but will keep fighting to protect it.
Not just protect it, but expand it, saving millions of dollars for working families. We're covering more people than ever.
Just go to healthcare.gov to learn more.
Yeah, it's still a BFD.
If you like your doctor, you can keep it. Remember? Also, we should ask Obama about all the gay sex this weekend. We should ask him about that.
Yeah, let's definitely ask him about that.
Yeah.
And we will be getting to that story, obviously, as well. But just to remind everybody how much the mainstream media, particularly the clowns on MSNBC, protect this administration, even with their worst failures, namely how hard the economy is for everybody. So Chris Hayes, who is the same person as Rachel Maddow, I'm convinced of it. So Chris Hayes is going to try to tell you in this clip that all that memory that you have of how good things were during the Trump administration, that's not actually true. It's just that Trump told you that the economy was really good, and that's why you thought it. But like, it really wasn't. So here is Chris Hayes trying to make that case.
But just take a second right now, okay, to consider what the alternate reality would be like in this moment after this turbulence under a Donald Trump presidency. My strong belief is that part of the reason that people's perception the economy was good in the Trump era, that Trump would be good at managing the economy, is that he constantly, unceasingly sledgehammered us over the head with propaganda about it day after day after day.
Oh my God,
Really?
these people. This guy's never owned a small business. He probably doesn't buy his own groceries or pump his own gas. These are elite scumbags who don't have to do any of that stuff and don't live in the real world. Chris Hayes does not live in the real. Chris Hayes definitely doesn't live in the real world.
No.
I mean, I don't even know how much this guy makes every single year, but you can
I don't
tell.
want to know because it's probably so much.
It is. It's probably completely obscene. But I mean, he lives in a different reality than the rest of the world. I just can't. But my God, he's never created anything on his own. He's never worked in a job where it like requires you to have, I don't know, regulations forced upon you by the federal government or by local government. I mean, if you talk to any small business person, they will tell you life was better under Trump. It was better.
Everybody felt that. Everybody felt that. It didn't matter what income bracket you were in.
Yes.
You were spending less. You were making more. You were paying less taxes. Period.
Totally. Everything was better. Everything sucks now. It's like everything is so expensive. It's like I saw a thing the other day. Some guy it's some comedian. I wish I could give him credit, but he was like, everything costs $1,000 now. And I'm like, yeah, it's true. He's like, you want to go out to eat? It's $1,000. You want to go to church? It's $1,000. Everything is $1,000. So everybody's just like, screw it. I'm just going to stay home. I mean, seriously, everything costs so much freaking money now. And that is it's because of the administration. So these people that try to come out and say that it's just propaganda, oh my God, it's like, what reality are you living in? Because it's not reality. It's not.
Well, and when they try to tell you that you're actually doing better right now than you think you are,
it's gaslighting. Stop gaslighting me. Stop it. Okay.
Right.
You guys tried that. You can't do it anymore. We're on to you. Shut up. Sit down, Chris Hayes.
Morgan, thank you, Morgan. Morgan says Alex has been in the service for 19 and a half years. He cannot stand watching what's happening. August 2025, and we are done. Love you, chicas. Can't wait to see Theo. Yes, hang on to your hats because Theo is coming at the end of the show. But that is super depressing because I kind of want you guys to stay in.
Yes, I just was going to say, this is the thing. I mean, I know you're excited to get out, but the good people are leaving. And then we have all these kids, and now they're just like, I don't like to work. What's going to happen when we get attacked?
Oh my God. It's bad. I mean, it's just like healthcare, right? Thomas was in the hospital on Friday night for a day. That's a long story. But anyway, just being in a hospital again and watching the utter incompetence. And it was awful, you guys, to be, and I was there for a good 16 hours, I think, just watching everything that was going on.
Yeah, you were there
looking at the filth in the emergency room. And I get it. Like it's busy in the emergency rooms and things are crazy. And it's not like housekeeping is going through there all the time, but shouldn't they be? Like, shouldn't there be constant efforts to keep things sterile? Just everything about that. It's like the military and healthcare right now are two big things that I see just declining so fast,
which is
terrifying.
Listen, I mean, but we've got to give so much of our money to Ukraine to build up their infrastructure and to make sure that people, and to make sure that all of their stuff is running smoothly and their logistics are going well, and that a third of their economy is paid for. So screw our healthcare and screw our military, and that's why everything looks like shit in our country. Yeah, is because we're giving so much money to the Ukraine. Oh my God.
I know. Stuart the Brit, thank you. Stuart says, rich, evil people, they build underground settlers to try and setters. They build underground setters to try and hide from death. Most people know not to fear death. Oh, Stuart. Giovanna Wells, thank you. Alexandra, thank you. She says, I'm currently cursing in Croatian. Thanks, Democrats. And Leah, there's Leah. She says it was propaganda that eggs and gas were affordable under Trump. Right. I mean, like, we can actually see the prices of things and we pay for them. So we know. I mean, we kind of knew how that worked.
And rich people, they eat in restaurants all the time. They don't actually stay home and make scrambled eggs. You know what I mean?
Stuart the Brit, again, thank you. Whether Trump did or didn't, what Trump did was give a lot of market optimism and hope. Very important for any small business owner. You are absolutely right. And that started literally the moment he was elected. Do you remember that? Like, that consumer optimism, business optimism went through the roof because everybody knew he was going to lower taxes and businesses knew that he was going to be business friendly. Yeah, and they reacted.
And it wasn't just small businesses. It was also large corporations too. Even though they don't want to admit it, they also were optimistic.
Do you remember too, like right after he was president, you started hearing about all these Christmas bonuses that the big businesses were going to give out. So, I mean, they know, and it's undeniable that when a Republican is in office, regulations are going to get cut, taxes are going to get cut, things for business is going to be great. And so that you're seeing.
And by default, things for the country it's going to be great.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Mm-hmm. And by default, when Democrats are in power, everybody is terrified about what's going to happen to their business and what's going to happen to their personal wallets. Mm-hmm. So, yeah. I'll tell you one thing that won't hurt your wallet, and that is stocking stuffers from heatholders.com. So if you're looking for something easy for stocking stuffers, perfect to go to heatholders.com and use code CHICKS. Save 15% off your order on the warmest socks, the fuzziest, best socks. Do you know, sometimes I will wear their triple, like their extra heated socks instead of slippers. That's how warm they are.
They're the
walk
best.
Around.
I do it all the time at my house.
It's not like they're tight. They're loose around your feet, but somehow they're so cozy warm. I love those things. I love them. Those are the best. They have really, really good, like the furry inside on the inside hats and mittens. They have scarves. They have long underwear. They have all the great things to keep your body warm in the coldest of weather. So check them out at heatholders.com. And don't forget to use code CHICKS to get your discount. Okay. So let's talk about, well, first I got to make sure I'm thanking everybody. Did I get Kim Poole? Thank you. Kim says, here is some of my Christmas bonus to help with Theo's Venmo.
Oh my gosh. Thank you so much. That is so sweet. Thank
I think the
you.
vet bill is pretty well covered, you guys. You are
Oh my
so
gosh.
nice.
You
Oh my
guys
gosh.
are just so generous. Thank you.
Teddy Mooch Bear.
I know,
Oh,
I
I can't
know,
wait to see
right?
him. Okay, so let's talk about let's do some politicking. Okay, so first, remember how last week we showed Eric Trump, was it? No, I'm sorry, Eric Trump's wife, Lara, being asked on Eric Bolling's show. God,
Yes.
too many Erics. Whether or not Trump would ever consider Nikki as VP. And Lara was like, never say never. So she didn't rule it out. And then Don Jr. was like, no, I'm
Hell
going to
no.
like, yeah, I'm going to do everything I can to make sure that doesn't happen. So it's just been like, where is Trump about this? Well, Trump was asked directly, and here's what he said.
Would you really consider Nikki Haley?
That's an interesting. I wouldn't right now. I'm not even thinking about that. I've always gotten along with Nikki, but I think what she did was. I would never run against the president. He was a great president, and all of that. And then, a year, 2 years later, she just, I guess I'll run, and hasn't picked up much steam. They say surge, but the one that's surging is us because I went up 10 points and she went up 3, and DeSantis went down. So that's not much of a surge, although it is a surge against him. He's doing very poorly, actually.
So never say never to picking Nikki as your running mate, or would you say never?
Well, look, I think it's unlikely because, it's one of those things. I think it's unlikely. We have some things in common and some things we don't have in common, and some of those things are pretty important. We have, obviously, mine is a campaign of common sense. We want strong borders. We got to have our borders back. We have to have elections. We have to have a strong and powerful elections that are honest as opposed to what we've had. We've had, we're like a third world country. We have things in common. We have things that I probably wouldn't agree with her very much on, but we have a lot of great candidates. That's one thing. I don't think about it too much, I have to tell you, but we have a lot of great candidates.
Okay, so okay, fine. That's fine with the Nikki thing. But what if he does choose her as his VP candidate? How do people square that? Because there are so many Trump people, including in our audience, that hate her. And they were like, oh my God, no, because first of all, because she's running against him. And second of all, because they're like, she's establishment. I can't stand her. She's this. I mean, some of the awful things people have said about her. So how do you square that? If she's the VP candidate, how do you square it? What do you guys say? Seriously, I'm genuinely asking the question. How do you square it? What do you do? How do you, what do you say to that? You know what I mean? Because
it's a question.
I have a question. I have a question.
Now, if he's listening to his son, and Don is literally doing everything in his power to make sure that Nikki doesn't happen, then it's probably a non-starter issue anyway. And maybe he'll go with someone safer, like a Kristi Noem, right?
And I also have a question too. Here's my other question. Why is he cutting her a break and not DeSantis? Why is he treating them differently?
Well, I mean, he's been calling her bird brain, like he's been ripping on her to some extent. But I do have some insight on why specifically he has left Vivek alone completely.
Well, yeah.
And I'll let you hear that straight from the horse's mouth, as a matter of fact.
Because it's pretty easy to see why he does that. But seriously though, why doesn't he why give her a break when he doesn't with Ron DeSantis? Is it because she's a woman? I'm just curious. I don't know. And is it Gigi Girl thinks it's because he's a bigger threat? I tend to believe that that's probably the case, even though she's polling higher right now. But still, I think initially it was because he probably was the bigger threat. But it's interesting how that works, right? He's like, well, I mean, I'm not going to rule it out.
Yeah, it was interesting to hear him not be definitive either way.
Yeah.
So I don't know. Like I literally don't know. Now, one thing, one person on his team who has been getting a lot of chitter chatter about her over the weekend is Alina Habba, his lawyer. And she is literally everywhere with him right now, which is starting to feel a little bit weird. And she also spoke at like this TPUSA action conference, I guess. And so we've got some clips to share with her. The first clip that you're going to see, though, is just her giving an update about what's happening with the SCOTUS decision, right? Because they were Jack Smith sent Trump's appeal to Supreme Court. They want an immediate answer. And now we're just kind of waiting for what's going on with that. Here she is on one of the talk shows sounding like very reasonable and just explaining where this is.
To be there every single
That's key
day.
case. That's what they're really trying to do.
100%.
They don't want him out campaigning because the more he campaigns, probably the better he's going to do. Right. So they want to keep holed up in the courtroom.
Right. It's actually playing against them. He's getting a lot of voters that he normally wouldn't get because they're seeing this, and he is the victim all of a sudden. They've made him a victim of complete and utter election interference and lawfare. It's un-American.
The Supreme Court asked you or asked the Trump legal team for a quick response on this. I was surprised at that.
Yeah, I think that, you can read that both ways. It cuts both ways. You could either interpret it as they want a quick response because it's a non-issue and they're not going to take it up, or they want a quick response because this needs to be shut down because there are so many other cases where they're trying to do this.
Right.
I don't know what's going on in their minds, but I do have faith in the Supreme Court. I think that those justices are really take their office seriously, and we've seen that time and time again with them, especially recently.
Okay, so
yeah,
reasonable.
Okay, so there's more clips. You don't like her? What's happening?
It's not that I don't like her. Like when she, like that, for example, I have
Reasonable.
no reason. Yeah,
No,
completely
fine.
reasonable.
Yeah.
It's what's weird about her, or what's starting to feel weird about her, is that she is everywhere, and now the focus is becoming her rise as a celebrity in her own right.
Okay.
And there's a couple clips from that TPUSA like action conference thingy that I'm going to play. The first one, it's funny because she sounds exactly like Trump. Like she's talking about the boxes hoax, right? The classified documents hoax. And she's very comfortable like working the crowd. And there's a comment that she makes, I think towards the end of that first clip, where she says, if I'm in Washington, like if I'm in the next administration. So she clearly sees herself, and maybe rightly or wrongly, I don't know, but she sees herself as part of the Trump team going forward as part of the administration.
Oh my gosh, she totally will be.
Yeah,
Without
I mean, at least that's
question.
how I read it. So here's this first clip.
Look at the boxes hoax. I call it the boxes hoax. That is the president. Mar-a-Lago raid. The president, sitting president, has something called the Presidential Records Act. He can take documents, he can declassify them, and he can take them where he wants and move them. You know who can't? Joe Biden, because he wasn't president when he took his boxes in 6 different locations, in Chinatown, in his car next to his son who's doing God knows what with God knows who. But that is what they do. They hide what they've done by going after Trump. Look at the shiny ball, everybody. Don't look at us. Well, they've got 1 year. And then we're going to be looking at them deep and hard. And I'll tell you right now, if I'm in Washington, I'll be relentless too.
Yeah, I mean, everybody's got an agenda, right? Like every single person does. And I feel like if and when he gets into office, she'll probably work for him, obviously. But then after, she's got a great career in media ahead of her.
Does she ever?
And she's got a road paved for her in her brain. I'm pretty sure that's what she's thinking. She's like, this is what I'm going to do the rest of my life. She won't be a lawyer. She's not going to be any sort of trial lawyer. She's going to be a media star. That's what a lot of these people want, and she'll be good at it. Look at her. Look, she's a great.
Oh my
speaker.
God, so comfortable, right?
Yeah, she's good at it.
The clip, so that clip actually didn't get a lot of play, at least that I saw, but this next one has been all over social media because she apparently filed some lawsuit against Hillary Clinton, and I don't know how long ago, but it was outright dismissed by the courts for being essentially frivolous, and she and Trump were fined $1 million for even putting forward the lawsuit to begin with. They were fined $1 million, which they paid. And so everybody that was retweeting this was like, why is she admitting that she basically sucked as a lawyer in that moment? Like she did him wrong. And now she's using it as sort of this way of saying, look how tough we are. So this is the clip that actually got a lot more play. And I was like, what are you doing, girl? What what is this? But here it is.
That got assigned to a Clinton-appointed judge. And what do you think happened? Nobody's heard of the case, right? It's because it's gone. I never met the judge. I never walked into the courtroom. There were probably 50 lawyers representing all of the radical left. Clinton's lawyers, Mook's lawyers, and the list goes on and on and on. 1 month. It got dismissed, and me and President Trump got sanctioned $1 million for going against crooked Hillary. You didn't know that, did you? Fake news, folks. Fake news. They won't report it. But guess what? We paid that $1 million, and we're going to keep on fighting.
I'm just trying to understand why you would say that out loud.
I mean, people, listen, you don't like that, but did you hear the crowd eat it up?
Oh, they
were
love
like,
it.
They loved it.
It up.
Right. So, and anytime you can say I went after Hillary Clinton, people are going to eat it up. So, listen, she knows how to do it. She knows how to work the crowd, and she's going to be successful. This chick, she already is. My God, she's amazing. Look how far she's like, trajectory is up all the way.
That's
up.
the thing. That's what feels very weird to me, is that she is just, she's like a star now, instead of like, what lawyer goes and does this kind of a speaking engagement? Like, that's weird to me, right? That you would be doing a speaking engagement about your client in this format. That just seems so not lawyerly to me. But she's also, it's like how often she's appearing with him at non-lawyerly types of events. So for example, she was just at the UFC fight with him this weekend, and she marches in there. I mean, I've got a little clip of that too. Here she comes marching in with her mini dress, right? And then there's this picture. I mean, what is going on? So you don't see Melania anywhere, except that she just did a naturalization ceremony, which was fantastic.
Yeah.
So she was welcoming new legal citizens to their naturalization ceremony, but she's never with Donald Trump. It's always Alina. And so someone, posted this picture on Twitter, and they were like, this is a great pic of Trump and Melania. Oh, wait. That's not Melania. It's Alina, looking like she's straight out of Vogue on his jet, right? It's just, there's just something weird. I'm saying this is not,
I don't know.
normal.
I mean, would you think it was weird if it was a dude? Would you think it was weird? I don't think anybody would know or notice or think it was really crazy if it was some dude. I'm not reading into it like you're reading into it. I'm just not.
I don't know, man.
I don't think I have no problem with this. I really don't think it's a big deal. I don't see the issue with her until she's an issue. I think that there's a lot of people that are in politics that are in this position right now. I say not necessarily her specific position, but are in the position of politics and politicking, where they all have an agenda, and her agenda is to be a pseudo celebrity. And there's a lot of people that are like this. There's a lot of, people that are lawyers and folks that are in that realm, in that circle, but they may not necessarily be lawyers, but they're in that political realm. They're in that sphere, and they want to be kind of pseudo celebrities. I mean, Trump is a pseudo celebrity. All the people running for office are pseudo celebrities. So
right.
They all want to be in the spotlight, and she's just one of those people. And like I said, I think that her career after this will not be as a lawyer. It will be as somebody on like Fox. She'll be a Fox chick, honestly. Yeah. Watch, just wait for it. Give her 3-4 years. She'll be on Fox all the time. And she's
getting a lot of attention. That is faux show. C. Douglas, thank you. In staying in the hospital, I observed a housekeeper clean the bathroom and toilet and then use the same cloth for the tray table.
Oh my God.
So gross. My hospital tote now contains disinfectant. Yeah. I mean, it's bad. It's really
so when you go into the hospital, you got to bring your own Clorox wipes. That's great. Kind of like on a plane. That's disgusting.
You would be amazed at the supplies that hospitals don't actually have. So Thomas, my son, is fed with a G-tube, right? We always have to pack his G-tube, like the adapter that allows us to feed him through his G-tube, because the hospital never has that.
Oh my God.
And I'm always like, but like, how do you care for patients with G-tubes when, I mean, it just always amazes me. And it's not even just that. It's like his formula. They won't ever have the right kind of formula. They just don't have supplies that I would think they'd have.
They probably charge you for that too.
They want
in the hospital.
They want to, but we bring so much stuff with us because
you better
we know
look at the
how this
bill.
works.
You better darn well look at the bill. Yeah.
Lori McCoy, thank you so much. Lori McCoy says, Merry Christmas. Watch you every day. Thank you so much for that. And Amy Floyd says, Merry Christmas, chicks. Watching you live because I'm on break. Saw pics of Theo. So precious. You're going to see the real thing here at the end of the show. So anyway, yeah. So that's what was going around about Miss Alina Habba this weekend. Trump also spoke at a rally, and he was talking about Vivek and why he likes Vivek. And it is for exactly the reason that you might expect. Here he is. And go.
Well, we like Ramaswamy. You know why? Because he likes Trump. I like him. This is probably a personality defect, but I tend to like people that like me.
Oh no! Did he say that out loud?
He said the thing.
Okay,
he said the thing.
That's not good. You can't. I mean, you can't be manipulated by flattery, right? You can't do
That's
that.
That's the fear. Is how much? How much is he? How much can he be manipulated by?
As much as I like him, that is a character flaw that it bothers me, because listen. It's like, as a woman, think of the things that you can be, a man coming up to you and being like, hey baby, I really like you. You're so awesome. Just love you. I'm going to kiss your butt a little bit, kiss your butt. And then they turn out to be a sleaze and they don't have the best intentions. This happens. Right. I mean, this is like textbook, you guys. There's going to be a lot of people that do that to him and then they don't have good intentions. You can't.
I mean, think about how many people he now no longer has good relationships with that were part of his administration. Right. So at some point you wonder, is it because if they just say the right thing to him, he's like, sure, come on board.
At first.
And then he finds out, okay, this person was not good. And so I'm glad he recognizes it as a personality defect. Hopefully that means he's going to do something about it.
Right.
Because that's not okay.
Yeah. Ivanka needs to talk to him and go, Dad.
Yes. Dad. Don't do that. Speaking of Vivek, he heard some Van Jones talking trash about him on one of those talk shows after the most recent debate. And Van Jones is basically like, oh my God, he's terrifying because he's going to live for 50 years longer than Trump. And that just makes me shake and shudder in fear. And so Vivek had a very pointed message for Van Jones at that same TPUSA conference.
We demand a government that tells us the truth again in this country. That's what we require. We can handle the truth. That's what it means to be a citizen of this country. So I say that on that last debate stage to a bunch of Republicans that are shaking in their boots. These are the things you're not supposed to say in the Republican Party even today. And then you get the mainstream media. You got this character Van Jones on CNN afterwards saying, this is the rise of an American demagogue who's going to live 50 years longer than Trump. This is dangerous. I am shaking. That's what he says. Just shut the fuck up.
Oh my God.
At a certain point, just shut the fuck up.
Oh my God.
Van Jones at CNN.
I cannot. Oh my God.
We're done with it.
I kind of love that. I'm not gonna lie. I'm not gonna lie.
I smiled.
It wasn't. People are like classy. Listen, it's not classy. It's not classy at all.
It's not at all.
But Van Jones needed to hear that. Sometimes your Van Joneses need to hear that.
He said it, man.
Sometimes they do. Yeah. I mean, listen, at the beginning, he was doing the whole like Jack Nicholson, Few Good Men. You can't handle the truth. And then he pulls out the shut the F up to Van.
Yeah, he
Jones.
did.
He has come like full circle. This man, he's just like, he came out. He's like so nice. When we talked to him, remember, he was just sort of still wet behind the ears, kind of new to the whole political scene. He would never, I don't think he'd come back on the show now because he's got his big boy pants on now. Yeah, he's too big for us. But when we first talked to him back at CPAC, I mean, he's so, I'll spend 25 minutes with you and it's going to be this. We're going to talk about policy. It's going to be great. And now he's all, F you, Van Jones. Oh, wow. It is a delight to see. That's all.
I mean, it's kind of fun to see, right? Isn't it?
It is kind of fun to watch the metamorphosis, if you will. Our baby's growing up. Look at that.
I know it. There he goes.
Right
there he goes saying all the big grown up words.
All the words.
Speaking of being a grown up, if you are a mature American citizen,
again with the transition.
Now we are mature by age, by mentality. We are far from it.
13-year-old boys. Right.
Right
there.
But our age does qualify us to be members of AMAC.us/chicks. AMAC, of course, is the Association for Mature American Citizens, and they offer just a wealth of information and benefits, discounts on all kinds of things when you are a member. But the most important thing that AMAC does is that they lobby for conservative causes in Congress. And so they do this, and they've got obviously the big player competition organization that has been in this game forever, who's doing just the opposite, who's basically licking the annular areas of Democrats. Okay. That's what they do. And AMAC is like, we got to compete. And so they're trying to build up their membership so that they can go to Congress and say, we have this many million of people behind us who want you to do XYZ.
Yep.
That's why it's so important to sign up for AMAC and become a member. And the great news is you can do that right now for free. You can get a 1-year membership for free without a single solitary number from your credit card entered. No credit card required. Just sign up at amac.us/chicks and you will get a free 1-year membership and all the benefits that come with that. So help them out, become part of this loud voice, the louder the better. That they stand up for conservative causes, and that's why you want to be part of AMAC. amac.us/chicks. Marcus Drake. Marcus, thank you. He says, I'm still skeptical of Vivek, but he's growing on me, maybe in 28.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, I don't really think he's going to be president. I don't have any fear of that or anything. It's just kind of fun to watch him change.
Is entertaining.
It's fun to what I find interesting, but I should probably clarify because I'm not trying to be KJP, but just to be clear. But what I think is so interesting is watching the political machine take hold of him and change him as it has, because he really was different when we talked to him.
He was.
It was a year ago. It was literally a year ago when we talked to him. And in that year, I don't know, maybe his true self is coming out and we're seeing his true self, but man, he was different when we talked to him. So
he was far more polite.
Oh yeah. Politics changes people, you guys.
It makes you dirty and mean
and gritty, and you say the F-bomb on stage to people. I mean, this is the thing. This is politics. It's very interesting how it changes people.
Lots of politicking going on. And speaking of that, we do have some updates on some of the other candidates. So for example, Nikki Haley, I thought this was such an interesting clip because in it, I think this is with Meet the Press. It's with that Jonathan Karl, that really squirrely guy. So he's interviewing her alongside Chris Sununu, who of course has thrown his support behind her. So now he's like trailing along with her like a puppy dog to all of her events. And so, what's interesting is that you're going to hear her talk about the differences between her and Trump for like a long time. And then John Karl asks a follow-up question and she gets all mad that he's bringing up Trump. So
oh my God,
she's like, Trump. And then he's like, but Trump. And she's like, why are you so obsessed with him? So it's just an interesting clip to watch. So here it is.
Things I agree with the president on. I had a good working relationship with him. There are things I don't agree. I don't agree with the fact that, yes, we had a good economy while he was there, but he put us $8 trillion in debt that our kids are never going to forgive us for. I don't agree with how he handles national security. He focused on trade with China, but he did nothing about the fentanyl flow. He did nothing about the fact that fentanyl has killed so many of our Americans. I don't think you should praise Hezbollah. I don't think you should criticize Netanyahu when Israel's down on her knees. I don't think you should congratulate the Chinese Communist Party on their 70th anniversary. I think that when it comes to national security, we don't praise thugs. We let them know where we stand, and we let them know they'll be held to pay if they do anything against us. That's who I am.
I mean, he's running on retribution. He wants to go out and he talks about annihilating his enemies and using the criminal justice system to do so. What do you think of that?
You guys are exhausting. You're exhausting in your obsession with him. The thing is, the normal people aren't obsessed with Trump like you guys are. The normal people care about the fact that they can't afford things. They feel like their freedoms are being taken away. They think government's too big. I know y'all want to talk about every single word he says and every single tweet he does. That's exactly why we need a new generational leader. Because people don't want to hear about every word a person says or every tweet. They want to know how you fought for them that day. And they want to know how their life is going to be different. And life would be a whole lot different if the media would stop this obsession with Trump.
I mean, I was just asking you about his central campaign theme, which is, I am your retribution. And he's winning in the polls. That's why I'm asking.
Well, if I could,
I'm asking about the leading candidate that you're
He does everything.
God, that guy is such a dork.
Wait, which one?
The reporter. Well,
Oh, yeah.
Sununu's not much better. Like, I hate that there's so much, we have to care what Sununu thinks. You know what I mean? I'm just like, why do we, I hate that. I know why, but I hate it.
RFK Jr. still out there campaigning, doing his thing. He was on with that horrible crystal ball chick, and yes, that is her real name, because I know somebody asked the last time we played a clip with her, but he set her so straight, even though she fought with him about what's going on in Israel. I love the point that he made at the very end of this clip, and I think you're going to appreciate just this entire exchange.
Gaza's this beautiful country. White sand beaches. It should be a paradise. Hamas said, we don't want that. They take virtually all of that money and they steal it. So the top 5 guys, the top 5 leaders of Hamas are billionaires. Ismail Haniyeh has $5 billion, according to Forbes.
But Bobby, again,
wait, let me just finish. No, because you made
Hamas.
You are making a statement that is just wrong. It's not Israel's fault that Gaza is poverty-stricken. Gaza should be one of the wealthiest states on the Mediterranean.
They have no control over their own territory.
Of course,
Israel
if you go to war, if you go
everything that comes in and goes out.
If you go to war, no, Crystal, why are you blaming? Why do you insist on blaming Israel rather than blaming Hamas?
I do blame Hamas, but
Well,
you know what else, Bobby? Our tax dollars do not go to Hamas. They go to the Netanyahu government.
And you
it's
know
our
what?
bombs, 22,000
You
of
know
which
what
that are
most-
being bombed, dropped on the civilian population right now.
You know what most of our tax dollars have gone for? For the Iron Dome, which is a way of not invading Gaza. Our country and Israel for 16 years have expended this huge amount of money to try not to go into Gaza, while Gaza sent 2,000 rockets a year, suicide bombers, and of course Israel's
And how
going
many
to
times has Israel come in and quote unquote mowed the lawn?
They've gone in 5 times, and every time they've signed a peace agreement with Hamas, and every time they violated that peace agreement. Let me
Well,
just.
Israel also has been
why
killing
are you-
Palestinians in West Bank. But Bobby, hold on.
Listen,
I want to move
if
forward.
Mexico attacked us and we built a fence, would you blame us for caging in Mexico?
That was the point that I was like, oh, yes.
It's true.
I mean, that was perfect.
It's the reason that she's doing it. She's another anti-Semite. She just can't get past it. I love the guy next to her. It's just like, I can have nothing to say. I'm just going to nod.
let you handle
I'm
this.
just going to let you handle it, woman. Yeah.
She's awful.
She's the worst.
She's
I work
awful.
for MSNBC. My name is Crystal Ball. The worst.
Oh my gosh, but he told her and I loved it.
Yeah, he did.
All right, we got to talk about the scandal, right? We've got to talk about the scandal. If you have not seen screenshots or worse, seen the actual video, which I hope you haven't because you, but a legislative aide to Senator Ben Cardin, who I think is from Maryland, maybe, he decided to engage in relations of a very sexual nature with his lover, his gay lover, in the middle of the Senate hearing room on the table.
Why?
I don't know.
Which makes me think that this is happening all the time.
Oh my God, it's happening all the time.
It's happening all the time. Yeah.
Let's go through some of the, I've got some screenshots, nothing that's gross, no worries, but just some some screenshots of what you guys need to know if this is the first time you're hearing about this scandal. So first of all, you need to know that his name is Aiden Mace Charopsky. And in response, and Laura Loomer apparently is the one that like uncovered all of this hullabaloo. So props to Laura Loomer for her investigative journalisming. I still can't stand her, and I think she's a beast, but she's very good at uncovering dirt.
She's good. She's good at finding the sex.
She's very, very good at that.
Good for her. Yeah.
So his response, once this all broke, was to post on LinkedIn, on his LinkedIn profile, and say, quote, "This has been a difficult time for me as I have been attacked for who I love," which is utter bullshit. That's not why he was attacked. "To pursue a political agenda. While some of my actions in the past have shown poor judgment, I love my job and would never disrespect my workplace. Any attempts to characterize my actions otherwise are fabricated, and I'll be exploring what legal options are available to me in these matters." He was also accused of getting in the face of another congressman, Max Miller, and basically saying "Free Palestine" to him. But he's denying that, saying, as far as the accusations regarding Congressman Max Miller, I have never seen the congressman and had no opportunity or cause to yell at or confront him. So that's what he posted on LinkedIn, which is utterly absurd in every way, right?
Oh my God, this is all so weird. I think they're all having sex with one. This is what my whole hypothesis. I think they're all getting it on with one another. And like, there's maybe like 3 of the dudes that aren't. It's just my hypothesis. It's how I feel. There you go. There's my hot take.
I guess that how this was discovered is that he himself posted this photo along with these captions on some private gay sex DC chat group or whatever. And so he posted this photo, which is obviously him naked leaning over this table, and said, "In this very room, Sonia Sotomayor had her confirmation hearing, James Comey testified on Russian interference in the 2016 elections, and Aiden got some thick German sausage and a Jaeger sauce finish."
Nice. I hope they clean that table. Did they clean it?
God, I hope so. I hope that thing has been seriously disinfected in every way.
All that off because ew. Yeah.
So this is the guy. This is the German sausage, because Laura Loomer also
he's the German sausage, you guys.
She also figured out who this guy is, and so here's, if you care, here is who this guy is. Now, what's interesting about Aiden is that he actually appeared previously in a Biden campaign video. So here's this screenshot from that, where it was like the song and dance. Biden was like, everybody was thanking Biden. And so
I love how it's
this is the guy.
Thank you for teaching.
Right?
Teaching what? Teaching what? German sausage. Teaching. Yeah.
I don't even want to know what a Jaeger finish is.
Everybody's Googling it right now.
What
is a Jaeger finish? Like Google it. It's like, what is it? Yeah.
And even Urban Dictionary is like, please don't ask me that. Please don't.
please don't. Nobody wants to know that. Okay.
So Senator Cardin promptly fired him, and so Aiden no longer has that job. But what's interesting is that there's a flashback clip of Senator Cardin going around where he talks about the quarters, the Capitol itself, the rooms in the Capitol, and I think it's just kind of ironic given the situation at hand. Here he is.
I refer to U.S. Capitol as sacred space because it's so much more than a building where the Senate and the House of Representatives meet and conduct business. It is the embodiment of our ideals, our aspirations, and hope, not just to Americans, but also to all of humanity.
Mm-hmm. Hey, you guys remember back in 2020 when Joe Biden was like, decency's on the ballot? You guys remember?
Right.
Remember?
Let's restore decency in the White House.
Or back when Michelle Obama was like, when they go low, we go high. Remember? You guys remember all that?
Oh my God.
Good times.
So Madison Cawthorn, who you may recall, was in Congress for like a half an hour.
Oh my God,
and
he was. He's young too. He's so young.
Very young, very young. He's the guy in a wheelchair. He's paralyzed from the waist down. And he had made some accusations after he left Congress about how seedy most of Congress is. And so now this clip is getting a lot of replays in light of what's going on in DC right now.
Sexual perversion that goes on in Washington. I mean, being kind of a young guy in Washington, with the average age is probably 60 or 70. And I look at all these people, a lot of them that I've looked up to through my life. I've always paid attention to politics, guys that, then all of a sudden you get invited to, like, well, hey, we're going to have kind of a sexual get together at one of our homes. You should come. And I'm like, what did you just ask me to come to? Yeah. And then you realize they're asking you to come to an orgy. Yeah. Or the fact that, there's some of the people that are leading on the movement to try and remove, addiction in our country. And then you watch them do, a key bump of cocaine right in front of you. And it's like, wow, this is wild.
Yeah. Wild, all right.
He was right. Look at him.
He was right.
He was telling everybody, and everybody at the time, McCarthy was just like, oh my God, this guy's a jerk. I can't believe, he said all these things. And everybody chastised him for saying what was the truth.
Yeah, he was right.
He was right.
It's interesting that like more names and more specifics about that hasn't slipped out, because you would think that people who do serve 1 term, 2 years, maybe 4 years, 2 terms at the most, would be talking,
well, they're going to get Hillary Clinton if they do.
Well, that's true.
You can't say anything, right? I mean, this is the thing. The guy spoke out and said something, and then he's gone. Bye, not serving anymore. Isn't that interesting how that works?
Yep,
and then people demonize him, and now this happens. And you know what? This whole scandal will get brushed under the rug. Like nothing will happen
because the guy's fired. Yeah, I mean, like what happened? They fired him, and so what now? Like what else is there to do?
Tomorrow, by the end of this week, we won't hear another word about it. Like it will be a news cycle. You know how it works. We've been in this business for long enough to know how the news cycle works. They will brush it under the rug. It'll be replaced by something else. No one will be talking about it anymore. But the fact that this happened, I mean, could you imagine? Like 20 years ago, we would have never.
Oh my God.
It's just like
20 years ago, it was just limited to Bill Clinton getting,
right
in the Oval Office.
It
wasn't like actually in a Senate room.
And that was scandalous. But this is the thing. This is happening in the Senate. And it's like we talk about it and we can joke, but this is disgusting, you guys.
Yeah, it's vile.
Like what is happening to our country, the absolute culture rot that we're watching happen before our very eyes. It's just gross. It's so gross. And
this is how civilizations fall. This is the beginning.
Yeah. Oh, I don't even think it's the beginning. I think we're in the thick of it. We're right in the middle of it crumbling all around us. And everybody's like, oh my God, what's on TikTok?
I'll be showing you what's on TikTok later in the show.
Right. Oh my God. Yeah, here we go. Yeah, it's disgusting.
It is. It's absolutely vile. We need an update from Jonathan Turley and Kayleigh McEnany on what's going on with the Hunter and Joe Biden impeachment stuff. And so I will just let you hear it straight from them.
Biden gets impeached. Here now with analysis, law professor and Fox News contributor, one of my favorites, Jonathan Turley. Jonathan, Karine Jean-Pierre said that Biden knew about Hunter's stunt, his defiant stunt, where he didn't show up for his deposition. And you said that this was a breathtaking mistake. Why?
Well, there are about 4 articles of impeachment that are the most likely to be pursued by the committee. One of them is obstruction, another is the abuse of power. Having the president involved in advance in any way to the contempt of Congress is the worst possible scenario for the Biden team. I can't imagine how that could have occurred. It's not that you're telling a father not to speak to his son, but you give very clear instructions that it's in neither of your interest for you to discuss his testimony before Congress. It certainly wouldn't be in your interest to talk about the potential commission of a federal crime. Contempt of Congress is a federal crime. And the Department of Justice aggressively pursued people like Bannon and Navarro for not appearing in a committee. So if the president knew about that in advance and supported it, it just gives another front for Congress to pursue in this inquiry.
Yeah, it's a great point that you bring up. I want to ask you about this. This was buried deep in a Politico.
Anyway, that's what's going on. Biden's got some trouble.
Yeah, I hear you. And every time I see anything about Biden or Hunter Biden on TV, I just kind of go, until I see them actually get in trouble. I just don't. It's hard for me to care. I want so badly to care, but I just don't at this point.
Because you just don't think anything's going to happen?
I don't think anything's going to happen to these guys. I mean, because I'm just so browbeaten by the fact that, like, you know, you look at the Clintons, you look at the Obamas, you look at the Bidens, all those people on the left, nothing ever happens. And so it's really tough for me to give a crap. I'm trying to like muster one single crap and I can't, you guys. It's hard for me to do it. You guys maybe can give a crap for me because I just can't.
I don't want him to be impeached because we need him to be the nominee. So
yeah, I hear you.
I mean, I want him to get in trouble after the election, but just not yet, because we cannot have Newsom. Also, speaking of people getting in trouble, Rudy Giuliani, you probably heard, got slapped with like $148 million payout that he has to pay for these Georgia election people, which is just the most outrageous amount of money. And so when the court ordered him to pay that for defamation, he spoke after that ruling and said, and I just need people to know before we play him, and then I've got some analysis of it. I don't know enough about this case to have any opinion about how it went or the legalities of what's going on or how shady or not shady it is. We've got his response and then some analysis to play. And it's all legalese to me. So you guys will have to weigh in about what you think. First, here's Rudy.
Of course, there's very little I could say right now. I have to analyze this. Obviously, possibly we'll move for a new trial. Certainly we'll appeal. The absurdity of the number merely underscores the absurdity of the entire proceeding, where I've not been allowed to offer one single piece of evidence in defense, of which I have a lot. So I am quite confident when this case gets before a fair tribunal, it'll be reversed so quickly, it'll make your head spin. And the absurd number that just came in will help that, actually.
I couldn't get over the guy's hair behind him. I'm sorry. I was so fixated. It's just like I was so fixated on his. Did anybody else notice the hair? Yes, Linda. Did you see the hair?
Now I got to rewind a little.
Okay, you got to rewind that guy's hair. It's all shaved except for he has like a tuft. It's like normal on top, but you got to see the back of it. You got to see the side view. Is there any way
can you get it?
Yes, you got to see the side view because
Oh wow!
You see?
Okay, yeah.
What is that? Am I the only one? I'm sorry, you guys. I could not get past that. What in the world?
I did not even notice that. I could not even notice it.
I could not stop looking at his hair. I couldn't.
Okay, that is weird hair.
That was
sure.
on purpose, and I don't know what's happening there. So I thought it was just me. It's the only thing I can focus on. Anyways, Rudy Giuliani. This case too is just very perplexing to me as well. Because it's all defamation, right? It's all.
And we'll see. Actually, you'll hear one of the little clips of him defaming the election workers in this next bit of analysis. So we'll listen to that because you heard Rudy say, "Oh, I may fight for a new case, and at the least, we're going to appeal." But there's actually some of the analysts are suggesting he is in no position to appeal. These are people that know more about the case than I do, but here is some analysis.
I heard you and saw you here, sort of shaking your head as we heard Rudy Giuliani speak.
Yeah. Both his comments earlier, a few days ago, and then tonight after the verdict.
Yep.
That's not defiance. That's delusion. And it's sad to see. His own lawyer presented a defense in the closing arguments that is comparing Rudy Giuliani to a Flat Earth Society member. Basically, it's a form of the insanity defense, I guess. He believes these things that are not true. Yeah. His own attorney. And this is somebody, the compounding tragedy of it, who was somebody who was one of the most respected prosecutors of his generation.
Yep.
You know, an Italian-American who helped bring down the mob in New York City, someone who turned around New York City, made it the safest large city in America, someone who showed extraordinary leadership on 9/11. And he has so thoroughly debased himself and is unfortunately so detached from reality. And, you know, he used to say, to be locked into partisan politics doesn't permit you to think clearly. Rudy Giuliani has not been thinking clearly since he got locked into hyperpartisan politics, and it's tragic.
Oh my God, I love that so much. To be locked into partisan politics doesn't allow you to think clearly. This should be plastered all over CNN's walls. Seriously. So
I know it's
everything else
ironic that it was on CNN.
right. So the things that he was saying about his career, all true, because he was phenomenal at his job. Rudy Giuliani was really good. I mean, like, they could use another Rudy Giuliani in New York right now. They could, because he did a bang up job with that city. I mean, he did. He was awesome. And so props to that guy for saying the truth, which is he was awesome for New York. And now it sucks to live there. You know, go figure. But to actually bring up partisan politics and how it skews your vision of life, I mean, CNN, you may want to look in the mirror, for Christ's sake. God.
Well, and the other thing that I don't understand is about the appeals process and the money that it apparently requires to do that. So in this next analysis, this is what I found so fascinating, because if this is accurate, and I can only assume that it is, I don't know that he can actually afford to appeal, which I didn't even know was a thing. But here is the explanation.
I want to bring in Karen Friedman-Agnifilo, our legal analyst. Giuliani, Karen, as you know, said he had no connection to the avalanche of threats that Shea Moss and Ruby Freeman actually faced. But let's remember some of the racist, hateful lies he told. Listen to this.
How can they say there's no fraud? Look at that woman. Look at her taking those ballots out. Look at them scurrying around with the ballots. Nobody in the room, hiding around. They look like this. They look like they're passing out dope, not just ballots. It is quite clear they're stealing votes.
So given the volume of evidence against Giuliani right now, how do you think he will attempt his appeal to go forward? He says he wants his lawyers to appeal this case.
Well, let's remember, in order to appeal this case, because it's civil, he will have to put a substantial sum of money into a bond. And so, which means he has to put that money in the bank, and that will have to be held in order for him to even get to an appeal. And usually it's the amount of the verdict, sometimes more. So I don't know how he's going to do that if at the same time he thinks he's broke. And I also don't think he has a viable appeal here. I mean, this was a stunning rebuke by 8 United States citizens, not anybody who's in politics, not any partisan person, who absolutely heard the evidence and had not only rejected it, but decided to punish him significantly for it. So I don't see a way out of this for him.
How is that racist?
I don't know. I don't know how that was racist.
This is the thing. How is what he said racist? Because I didn't see any racism in that. He was just
I didn't see racist. He implied that she was a drug dealer, and
I mean, there are
think
white
just
drug
black
dealers.
drug dealers.
There are white drug dealers, and there are black. Has nothing to do with the melanin content in your skin. Oh God, this country is just going to crap, man. This
$150 million.
Yeah,
that's
he's done.
Insane.
Yeah, he's done.
And so again, I didn't know that was a thing, that in order to appeal a civil case, you have to put the damages
in a bank account
up front in the bank. I did not even know that. So that's why I thought, well, if I'm just learning this, I guess, maybe this is anyway. I just thought that was amazing and crazy.
People are pissed off that we're showing CNN. Well, a lot of the stuff is not covered. It's just they don't show a lot of this garbage on other networks,
right?
In the way that we can show it to you from CNN. Plus, it's fun to make fun of CNN.
Right.
It's really fun, you guys.
And we like to have a mix of sources.
Yeah.
Like, we're not always just going to show you Fox Clips or News Nation or whoever else. So we like to have a lot of
and somebody else pointed out that the point is to bankrupt him. Isn't that the point of all these? The point is to ruin people.
Right.
It's not just to bankrupt them financially, but emotionally and in every other way. They want to completely destroy people. That's what the left wants to do. as evidenced by this, as evidenced by what they're doing to Trump, as evidenced by what they do to all Republicans. They want to destroy the right. That's what they want to do.
And they're getting really good at it,
Yeah,
unfortunately.
they are. And they're succeeding.
Okay, before we get to double D's, I just wanted to make everybody suffer through one more thing that I suffered through this weekend, and that is Dylan Mulvaney is now a performance singer person, and he has put out a version of Blue Christmas that is so god awful. I mean, it's like painful to the ears. But what's more interesting about it is that he hired an actor to play someone like a love interest in this video, and they kiss each other.
Oh my God.
And just the whole thing is so gross, and I could not see it alone.
God.
It's just
somebody said it takes a lot of balls to do this.
Without you.
There's no way that bartender looking like that would have been like, oh, hey, honey, let me give you a drink.
I mean, I thought he had like facial feminization surgery. Is that his
real voice?
Yeah.
And he got the soyest of the soy boys.
The soyest.
I mean, that dude. It might as well be a girl. Seriously, it might as well be.
I'm just gonna fast forward.
It's really bad.
Look at this outfit, you guys.
What's all the denim? All the really bad denim outfits that he got from Shein. So bad.
I mean,
really, really bad. I mean, you think he has enough money, he can buy some decent clothes.
Well, he bought somebody to kiss him. So that had to be paid for. There's some makeout sessions here and then there.
Oh my God. Just disgusting. Look at him. He's like, I'm getting paid for this. My parents are proud.
Anyway, I had to watch it.
The bows in his hair. And all the way that he costumes himself like a little girl is so disturbing to me.
Yes, it so is.
It's always like the hair that he's trying to do the pigtails and the bows like he's like a 6-year-old girl. It's just really bizarre to me. I don't like it.
It's vile.
I don't like
Absolutely vile.
Mm-mm.
Okay, so it's time for double D's, and then we'll do talks, and then there will be a
right. Quick double D. I just saw this weekend. I thought it was really cute. Just a hat tip to Bone Frog, which is one of our sponsors, our coffee sponsor. They're a bunch of SEALs, Navy SEALs. And I think somebody's tapping on my door. It's probably Coda. But they're a bunch of Navy SEALs. Love the Navy SEALs. I saw this, and this is a SEAL joining Navy SEALs.
Oh, sorry. We got to end this.
Sorry. Ugh, gross. Go
Sorry.
away.
Ew.
Go away.
Ew.
Whatever. Nice street corner.
Absolute
Great.
streetwalker.
Really nice. Can you even? Can you even with this? He's like, I want to go.
Oh my God.
I want to go save people, you guys. Let me go. I'm a tough guy too.
So cute. Oh my gosh, I love that.
Isn't he cute?
So precious.
I know. They're water puppies.
Precious.
Little water puppies. What? Why?
Somebody's banging.
Did you hear that?
Yeah.
I think that was good.
Oh my gosh. He doesn't usually demand entrance. That was something.
Such a jerk, that guy.
Okay, well, he's just going to need to
gonna have to wait.
cool it. Cool it.
Mm-hmm.
Let me make sure I've thanked everybody I need to thank. Stuart the Brit, Miladies, the rotten perversion has always been in DC and Hollywood, etc., etc. We all know that. Now we hear about it now, not 10 years later, thanks to the internet. Yeah, that's a good point. We wouldn't even be hearing about that whole scandal with the gay sex in the Senate.
It's probably been going on for half a century.
Yeah, that's probably right. And Brian Brumley, thank you. Brian says, Daisy, if you're having trouble giving a crap, you need more bonage. Hashtag
That's
Frog.
true. I know. I will have at least 3 cups today. And then maybe I'll give like a sliver of a crap.
Oh my gosh. Don't forget, you guys, that MyPillow right now has their humongous bedding sale happening. That means pillowcases, that means pillows, that means blankets, duvets, quilts, down comforters, body pillows, mattress pads. All of that is on mega sale. So you can check all of that out at mypillow.com/chicks. Make sure to use code chicks. It is the bedding sale that you do not want to miss if you need to stock up on bedding. So see mypillow.com/chicks for all the amazing savings. Okay. There are AI filter / programs that will now, if you upload a photo of yourself, you can trust AI to put you into an entirely new situation. And so this guy tried it with hilarious results.
I hate AI, but this backfill filter, I have to try it. Give me a second. So this is me in Pittsburgh with the George Romero bust at the Monroeville Mall. And what the fuck?
What
pants are those? I got my hoodie tucked into chinos. What is this, a toilet paper holder or something on the side of the fucking marble column? What the fuck is this? Here's me at the horror bar in Vegas. What do we got? I don't.
What?
It's just me. Like, am I at a rave or something? What are these pants? What does AI think I fucking wear as pants? And why is it putting like weird ass logos on my
I don't
sleeve?
like AI. I don't like it.
It's so
God.
scary.
Is
It's
Michael Myers
weird.
checking me out? All right, Kimmy and I at a Boys Like Girls show. I'm curious to see where it places us now. Oh, at a nice restaurant. Oh,
She has a
and
million
she's got
fingers.
A fancy glass and 14 fucking fingers because AI still can't figure out hands. How do you fuck up the sleeve? How do you see that I'm in a black t-shirt and not put a fucking black sleeve on my shirt? And
All right.
do I have
Nobody can concentrate. I mean, okay. We're just not going to do talks today because
No,
the
no,
dog
no,
is here.
No.
I got to see it. I can't concentrate.
We can totally do talks. He's just
No, we can't. We've got to see the dog.
his face is Greg just let him in early because he's just
I need
that
to
way he'll be
see
okay.
him.
Here, let me get my camera and see if you guys can see him. Can you see him?
Oh my
Hey,
gosh.
Can you look up at everybody?
No, you're gone. You're gone. You're gone. You're gone.
How'd that
You're
happen? Oh
gone.
my God. No. How'd that happen? Oh, no. Can you still hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you, but you're gone. Your visual
Okay,
is
hold
gone.
on. Let me see if I can fix it. Crap. Hold on. Shoot, how'd that happen? I don't know how that happened. Hold on. I don't know how that happened, you guys. Oh my God.
Oh my God.
Where is it plugged in? Oh my God. I need to figure it out. Hold on.
This is the biggest tease of all time.
Oh my God. My camera quit working. I don't know. Hold on. Let me figure it out. Oh crap. Hold on. Just keep talking. Show another talk.
Okay. All right.
And I'll figure
show
it
more
out.
Talks while we're working on getting the dog back. Okay. Okay. So let me see what I'll show you. Oh, this is just a funny little clip about the government and how ridiculous it is. So we'll show that.
Just as a heads up, we lost about $3.8 trillion this year in military spending that we're currently not able to track. Oh, yeah. We also have about $5 trillion that we spent during the pandemic that we don't really know where it went. On that note, we have a $30 million F-35 fighter jet that we're actually not able to track right now either. It got lost. Speaking of missing money, there is this single mother in Alabama who hasn't paid us $2.12. So I'm thinking we send her to jail.
Come here. Okay. It's pointless. Like totally pointless trying to do this. Totally pointless.
I'm sorry. Come here, baby. Come over here. Now he wants to see his daddy. Come over here.
Okay, get him in, close the door, make Greg go away. There we go.
He's gone. You guys can just see his face. You can just see his face, but can you see him?
Oh my gosh.
He can't get up or anything because he's got a bandage on his foot, so he can't like jump up on me or anything. And so I'm sorry.
Look at how sweet he is.
He's just the sweetest. He's so sweet.
Is he limpy? Is he like super limpy?
He's a little limpy. Yeah. Because he's got that one giant bandage like on his one leg. And then he's got the other one is kind of cut up too, but they had to remove his dew claw completely.
Yeah.
And then he's got that giant gash where it was like down to the bone. But man, he's sweet.
So
you see
calm.
You see his little tail?
Yes.
He's just like I'm chilling. You
Get
know?
him. Get
I'm
his
chilling.
face. Get it. Get his
Can you
face.
come over here and show everybody your face. Come here. Come here. Come here. Come here, Mr. Man. He wants to go see his daddy because he's been with me all weekend. And then when Greg came home last night, they were at a swim meet all weekend. He had not met Gwen at all because Gwen left on Friday to go to a swim meet in San Antonio. Come here, buddy. Come here. Can you guys
What
see him?
a sweet boy.
But
He's
when
not doing that bad.
see him? You guys see him?
Yeah,
Looking
he's
out
not
the
looking
window?
bad at all.
You guys see him? He looks pretty good, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. But then when Greg got home last night, because Greg's the one who found him, and I think he kind of had a connection with Greg. I mean, he made a connection with me this weekend. But when Greg's the Mr. Man who found him, and so when Greg got home last night, the tail was just
It's a long tail. He's got a long tail.
He's got a big old fuzzy tail. He's still kind of stinky, but I can't give him a real bath until like January the 3rd. What? You want out?
Is he whining?
Are you whining? Do you want out? Okay, I'll let you out. You want your daddy again. Okay. I'm going to let him out to go get his daddy, and then we'll say goodbye to everybody. Hold on.
Okay. All right.
You want to go see daddy? Come on.
Look at the little limpy guy. Oh my gosh. He's so precious. So
Now he wants
precious.
to see like all the other dogs and Greg and Gwen.
Oh
He's
my
like, I don't want
gosh.
to be in there
So
with mom by myself. I don't want to do that. So anyways, he's
So cute.
he's great. I think he's going to do great.
And he's so super chill. So that's
Oh
why I
my
was
God.
saying to you over the weekend that like your dogs are on this sort of continuum of chillness where TMB is definitely the chillest. And then
chillest.
Astrid is kind of mid-range. And then
Mhm.
Coda's just like a complete psychopath. So
Complete
he's like
lunatic.
away on the other end.
Right. Yeah.
So will Astrid come in to do flaps or no?
We'll not do flaps today, and then
Okay.
we can do that tomorrow. Yeah.
Sorry, you guys. No talks, no flaps.
I'm sorry,
It's been a
you
weird
guys.
day.
Sorry, it was kind of weird today, but everybody wanted to see the dogs. So
Yeah, we had to see the. I could not concentrate. I was like, I gotta see the
that's Mr.
dog.
Theo. That's him. So you guys, we can bring it in. We can bring it in. And also, I promise I will get to my PO box today. I know that people were saying,
know, I
"Oh my
need to
God,
do
go your
that
PO box."
too.
I got to do that today. I just did not do it over the weekend because I was holed up with a dog. So
Yeah.
but we will do that today.
Also, I just should really point out really quickly before you sign us off, there will be 4 more shows in this calendar year.
Can you guys believe it?
We're going to be off for 2 weeks. So I just want everybody to be prepared that we will not have shows next week or the following week.
That's a
And so
lot.
that
I
puts us
know.
back. Let me just check the date. We will be back with you all on the 8th. Okay, so Monday the 8th will be our first day back, but we're going to be here all this week. So we'll be here through Friday, just like normal.
Right.
It's just that after that, it'll be 2 weeks.
2 weeks of no shows. We'll have some social stuff going up, but just no shows for 2 weeks. 'Cause we're
Yeah.
gonna be in Costa Rica for one of those weeks.
See you next week.
I can't believe that. Next week. I know. Isn't that crazy? I know. So
That's
yeah,
gonna be
so
we'll do some. We'll try to do some like stuff for the insiders and supporters
Totally.
on while we're in Costa Rica.
Without question, we're going to do that. Without question, we will do that. But there's going to be some social stuff. Absolutely. Instagram, all the stuff, all on our socials, but just no shows for 2
No
weeks.
shows
It's
for
going to
2
be
weeks.
crazy. We usually do
I'm
that
gonna
at the end
warn
of the year.
everybody.
We usually do.
Mhm.
But yeah, I know. So the next 4 days, we're going to make it count, you guys. All right.
That's exactly
We're going
right.
to go out with a bang. That's what we're going to do. You guys have a fantastic Monday, and we will talk to you tomorrow. Bye. Bye, everybody.